everybody, I'm Beebs Kelley. Welcome back to another video. Today's fashion edition is taking a look at Meghan Markle's variety photo shoot that she did. If you missed the video talking about the video and the interview, I will link them for you here. So the tone of this interview and the photo shoot was meant to be a lot more down to earth and relatable as compared to the cut interview. If you missed that set of videos, I'll link them for you as well. So the cut interview, as we discussed, came across more cold and very unrelatable in every way, and really sort of dry and bland and hard and serious and unfriendly. She tried really hard to come across a little bit more relatable here, a little bit more down to earth, and used a lot of sort of stereotypical, contrived talking points or answers, if you could call it that. I hate to call it an answer when it was so clearly rehearsed rather than just genuine, but tried to convey the American mom, the dorky American mom trope, as this quote even says, nerdy American mom is what the writer decided to call it. It felt very much like a contrived bit of branding, an attempt at it anyway. So let's take a look at the pictures. Remember, for magazine photo shoots, they're trying to get a cool or interesting picture that will look beautiful, that will inspire people to click and read and share, that people will like the pictures. So first we see this green satin dress. Now the dress itself might be all right. It looks to be a silky fabric. That sort of drapey silkiness offers some softness to her body type that can really benefit from those softer elements, softer looking fabric, drapier looking fabric that falls nicely rather than stiffly. Something that brings in an element of softness to contrast her more angular body type. It's still sleeveless though, and she could really benefit from veering away from sleeveless all the time. This pretty green color is really complementary to her skin tone and eye and hair color, so that's a great choice. As for the picture itself, I think it's okay. This is probably one of the best from this photo shoot in terms of the picture. I mean, it's a little bit overdone. It's a little bit, I'm trying to be a model here, and oh, look, you're over there through the weeds. You know, it's a little bit predictable, but it is one of the better of the photos from the photo shoot. The cover itself is kind of hilarious. This gave people savior complex sort of vibes. When you think about the subject matter of the interview, how the whole first third of it was talking about Queen Elizabeth's passing, this cover is the wrong choice. It's also, once again, really tight and close up. It feels like she was trying to redo the cut interview with this cover here, try to come up with something where she's smiling this time instead of frowning, and where she's looking above the camera rather into the camera, stuff like that. Trying to go a little bit too on the nose once again. I think that the makeup looks fine, the hairstyle's okay. It's still that sort of slicked back tight, but it's in a ponytail rather than a bun this time. So still the hairstyle's not necessarily like soft or anything like that. But ultimately, it's still severe, it's still intense, it's still very in your face, and still very self-focused. When a picture is that close and tight onto the subject, it's all about them and their face, which is predictable for Meghan of all people, of course. But when it comes to a PR perspective, her being back a little bit farther gives more room to the picture where she's not taking up so much of the space of the photo, of the cover. And it just tends to come across a little bit better than things like these that are just really me in the face sort of a vibe. I think if she would have done something with a similar background would have been fine. These colors behind her are fine. They're not clashing or anything. But if she would have done something a little bit more relaxed, where she was set back in a setting or something, I think it just would have come across better. For her interview, she's wearing a plain, simple black long sleeve. I think that her look for the interview portion is fine. A brighter color might have been nice, something that looks a little bit more cozy and welcoming, but at the same time, it's just a basic top, so I think it's okay. We have one of the worst sets of pictures, and that was this pink and white patterned dress with a bubble hem. Once again, it's sleeveless. As you can see, one positive though right off the bat is the waist of this dress. You can see it hits a little bit lower. It's not quite as high as she wears when left to her own devices. So that'll help to elongate the torso a little bit. I don't love the high-low hem, though in this particular picture it looks okay because you can't see the feet. but from the front, when you can see the feet, it doesn't look quite as nice. The sort of undone hairstyle with the fancier gowns is something of a contrast that I think would have worked better for Meghan if she didn't come across quite so pretentious. The way it comes across here feels contrived, as most things do. And that could be, one might say that that's just that preconceived notion coming through. And maybe, but at the same time, you could ask yourself, do you genuinely like this picture? Does it genuinely come off as a friendly, interesting, dynamic moment? Or does it come across as contrived and trying to sell a specific image or point of view? This particular dress is a little too stiff and bulky for the Meg. It's really highlighting the angularity and the rectangleness of the torso here for her. Although it reins in at the waist and then has volume out from that belt, which can help give the illusion of a waistline, because the fabric is so stiff and it's hanging so stiffly, and this fold here looks so heavy and clunky and bulky and stiff, it's really not creating that sort of flow and niceness that would balance out her figure otherwise. I do like the asymmetry of the color here because diagonal lines are really, really helpful for somebody with a body type like Meghan. But overall, this came across really bulky, heavy, thick, and stiff. And I also don't really care for the shoe here either. I think it's an okay choice in general, but I don't think it serves Meghan Markle's body type that well, this particular shoe, because it's enhancing the long and thin limb situation. Her feet are kind of long. Something that had a closed toe might have been more successful. In this particular set of photos also, her hairstyle is the correct choice because this has such visually heavy neckline area. She wouldn't have had success with her hair down. So the hairstyle choice here is fine. This set of pictures where she's wearing the beige jumpsuit were the most cringe of the entire thing. The hair down with the lapel and the volume involved in this jumpsuit feel a little bit crowded, a little bit closed in. But it's not the worst thing. I think the choice of jewelry and whatnot and the styling of it is all fine. However, the duck facing into the camera was completely out of control and just simply not appealing. She shouldn't have gone that hard at the camera because it just made her look kind of ridiculous and foolish, especially for somebody who talks about things the way that she does, where she's trying to convey this image of a nerdy mom who doesn't really spend a lot of time worrying about image and whatnot and really wants to dismantle labels and things like that. She really acts the complete opposite in real life when she's getting pictures taken and things like that, and the types of photo shoots she chooses to do. She could have told them the creative direction of the photo shoot. She wants to be very much just showing how she lives normally rather than trying to be like a fashion photo shoot. They do that all the time for features when they're interviewing somebody. Even sometimes actors or musicians will take this approach of being a lot more down to earth in their photo shoots, where they don't really want to do like a fashion photo shoot where they're doing lots of clothes and lots of stylized sort of commercial pictures the way Meghan did. They want to do things like showing, maybe they love gardening, so they do some photos where they're actually doing that, or just comfy, cozy, normal stuff at home. Meghan instead seems to really want to push this modeling narrative where she has these more glitzy photo shoots that are trying to be glamorous, but they just don't read that way. They don't come across that way. And furthermore, or more importantly, for the project as a whole, they don't really match the subject matter very well at all. She tried to stay focused on archetypes in the interview. So the photo shoot should have been things that will support that message. Perhaps her working from home, or her recording an episode, or her doing something that conveyed more of that nuanced, complex angle that she wanted to come through, but didn't successfully, and further undermined through these pictures. Next, we have another in the pink and white patterned dress where she's laying down in the parachute situation. The video footage of these are just hard to watch. She's kicking her feet. She's doing tee-hees. It's so bad. It's not how a real model will go about it. Like, look at this footage of Zendaya. She's doing such a good job. She's getting the most amazing pictures. She's really good at it. She's very talented. It's not overacting. It's putting aside, how am I going to look? How should I look? How do I want the end result to look? You're setting that aside and just not thinking about that. That's the photographer's job. The key to getting these sorts of excellent pictures like Zendaya does here is just doing the movement and hoping that a good picture will come of it. Be fully in the moment and just do these motions. And then the photographer has the job of getting the angle right and getting the click at the right time. Meghan very much comes across as somebody who's focusing on the end product in her head and overthinking the photo shoot itself. She can't set that out of her mind. She wants to have the picture of her kicking her feet like she doesn't care and doesn't know, and oh, she's so innocent and chuckling at everything, so over the top, that's why these pictures look this way and why they came across poorly. Let me know what you thought of this photo shoot. Let me know what you think of the footage, and I will see you next time. Have a happy day, everybody. Bye.